Hi, guys.
Hello.
So sweet to have you.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, great.
Yay.
We're slowly getting together. We'll give it a couple more minutes before starting and kicking it off. And yeah, just make yourself comfortable. At some point, we might have to turn off our cameras, just FIY. So yeah, in case that we have more people that are wanting to come in, but we'll let you know if that happens. Hello,
Hello,
So
Almond. ¿Me estás
yeah.
escuchando? Saludos para ti.
everyone.
Hey, ¿cómo estás, Leiners? Qué gusto verte.
Sí, no, todo tranquilito, quietecito en base. Agradecido por estar aquí.
Qué lindo que empieces a formar parte de los eventos y de la comunidad. Súper, súper cool.
Yeah.
Claro, por supuesto. Siempre es bueno estar al tanto y estar al día, ¿no? Con este tipo de proyectos como el de Giveth, Giveth, no sé cómo pronunciarlo. Tú me dirás.
Giveth, justo. Pues voy a cambiar a inglés, querido Leiners. I think that we already have our three today speakers, which is great. Let me turn on my camera. I think that there will be no problem. Hey,
So happy
Bianca,
to have you.
Álvaro.
Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
hi,
Hello,
Alvaro.
nice to have you.
Sweet. Thanks for coming. We might
Hello,
give it
can
a
you hear?
Yeah, we can.
yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, hello, Nicola. Hello, Almond. Hello, everyone. Super happy to be here today.
We are
Yay.
super happy to have you.
Me too, me too. A long time without talking with you.
I know. I was trying to actually get a hold of you, but it's so impossible to get reach out to you. Anyways, guys, thank you for coming. Get yourself comfortable before we officially start. Maybe we just give it one more minute for people to come and yeah. So make yourself comfortable. Get a cup of coffee. We're setting up a stream and yeah, waiting for them to join.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Good morning, Nicola. With the medicine. Bianca, hello to you. Alonda, oye, qué gusto verte. Ya yo te había visto ya, pero ahora sí te veo en alta definición, súper bien.
Thank you for bringing your beautiful energy. Um, yeah, I was just saying that at some point we might have to turn off our cameras, but we will give you heads up if that moment comes, okay? Until then, we can just hang out like this. I just want to check in with our streaming masters if everything is all set. And close my window. Beautiful. So maybe we just gently start. What do you think, guys? Are you ready? Or shall we give it a little more time? What do you think, Alma?
Sure, I think that we can start with just the icebreaker question and kind of like introduction. So for sure, and just wait until more people jump in. But I think that we're ready to go.
Let's go!
Okay, let's go then, guys. Let me introduce you to our beautiful session that's happening right now. So, welcome to another Meet the Makers, an event series where a handful of project owners meet in one space to share their vision, mission, and impact in the public space and their local community. And the intention of this event is to bring makers and givers in one place, help build and nurture the future of giving in Web3, and also for projects on the ground. So today we are here to meet with three verified projects on Giveth who are focused on the mental health and making it accessible to everyone. So each of these fantastic projects are improving some corner of the world, and we are lucky enough to have them here with us today. So let's meet one by one and learn about the ways how we can support you guys. And yeah, basically just for the flow and how the session will go, Almond and I are here to basically help navigate the conversations and help us to stay on track. And also FIY, while we are meeting here at the Discord, this is also being streamed live on our main Giveth channel, and you'll have access to the recording and you'll be able to use it and for your purpose, maybe even, yeah, definitely uh, use it, use it for future, sharing with your audience, with your community, with your potential donors. And so that is little FIY. You'll get access to the recording after the session. And yeah, as Almond mentioned, we will start with a little icebreaker questions to get us warm up a little bit, and then each project will have about 15 to 20 minutes to present about their project, their milestones, and address any questions that may and hopefully will come up from the audience. And we have some questions definitely ready for you too, guys. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I would love to give it now to Almond to do this little icebreaker round with us, and yeah, let's have a nice session today, guys.
Great, thank you, Nicola. Cool. So I like this icebreaker question just to get the brain ready and everything ready. So I would love to start with Alvaro. What do mental health and well-being mean to you? And this is actually something that I'm going to ask to Bianca and David as well. So Alvaro, if you want to start, Alvaro is not here anymore. So let's start with the medicine. What do mental health and well-being mean to you?
Is this question for me? Yeah.
Yeah, that's for you.
Okay. Well, I think this is really a really important topic at the moment in the world, and for me, it's been an important topic for most of my life as someone that suffered with mental health myself. Um, back in the early 1990s, and you know, it's always been something that means a lot to me, and something that I've struggled with personally over many decades, and yeah, I'm really passionate about this subject and the fact that it's affecting so many people. I think just in the US alone, there's like 300 million people that are suffering with some form of mental health. A mental health problem. So this is a worldwide problem. It's a worldwide issue, and yeah, it's something. As you can see from the project and what we do, that we're very passionate about. We really feel that people deserve to have the basic empowerment tools and techniques to be able to start at the very least down regulating the nervous system and being able to use their own inner medicine to become calm and safe and peaceful. So we're really passionate about this subject.
Thank you so much. Let's go with Bianca from Gravity DAO with the same question. What do mental health and well-being mean to you?
Thank you, Amand. Thank you all for having me here. It's a really great pleasure to be here and talking about mental health with you. So for me, mental health and well-being, they are kind of related at some point. And for me, I like this analogy of physical health. And same way that we take care of our physical health and we have good or bad physical health, we need to take care of our mental health, right? So there is good and bad mental health as well. And I like that because it makes me think about, okay, I know I need to take care of my physical because my knee hurts or because my back hurts or something like that, and I need to go to the doctor. And I need to like do stuff like go to the gym, go for a walk, and things like that. So, same thing with our minds and our well being itself, because it's something that, at least in my country, I'm from Brazil, um, people don't take a close look at it. They used to ignore some mind facts and things like that. So for me, it means knowing yourself and having that self knowledge of where you are in your mind. So it's good to like break this stigma around, oh, I don't need help. Oh, I don't need to go to therapy at all. Oh, I'm fine. Everybody goes through that. And that's true. We all go through some kind of um mental issues at some point. But yeah, we do need to also look at that as like a caring perspective of, okay, I take care of my body when I need to. I also need to take care of my mind. And that's what like mental health means for me. Um, it's like a stage of, okay, I need to take care of myself and I need to know myself better. Thank you, Amon, for that question.
Thank you, Bianca, and so cool that Juanca is here as well to support, and Alvaro that is back. What does mental health mean to you? This is kind of like an icebreaker question, and for the people that just join us, Brichis, Claire, it's great to have you around. We're just with one round of an icebreaker question for then start with each one presentations. So Alvaro, please go ahead.
Well, hello everyone. Super nice to be here. Sorry for connecting and disconnecting. You know, the things of being live. That suddenly internet stopped working when it have been working for months. But yeah, well, in any case, what mental health means for me. First of all, I want to say that I am not a psychologist, neither a real um, expert in mental health. No, I am passionate about mental health and how to use Web3 to support many people to be happier. No, probably this question. There are some people in the world that they will have better answers. But in any case, mental health for me personally means basically feeling good, feeling that I want to live, feeling that the time that I expend and that I am alive is time that I want to continue having, no? That feeling of wanting more from life, no? And really having the experience that, well, I say that because sometimes life becomes difficult, no? Because of the challenges, um, because of our way of understanding challenges and the difficulties that we have during our lives. Suddenly, life become like dark, no? And you don't want to wake up. You don't want to do nothing. You feel that you don't have power, that you don't have value. Um, and well, and I have been in that. I have been experiencing that personally. I'm sure that probably most of us have experienced that. And it's incredible how a few changes in our perspective, a few changes in the way that we sleep, or having therapy, or having the right conversation with the right person at the right moment can change completely your direction, your perception, and suddenly you start again seeing life full of color, no? Full of detail and of taste. So yeah, for me, mental health basically is taking care of our emotions and of our mind in the same way that we take care from our body. And I am sure that 10 years from now, in the same way that we know that we can't eat sugar so much, no, or that we need to do some exercise, and that we can't eat McDonald's, even though 10 years ago everyone was going to McDonald's and eating full shit from McDonald's. No, now we know that that is not good for our bodies. So we are little by little understanding what is better for our mind and for our emotions. And maybe one day we will say that consuming social media is like consuming McDonald's for our body, or that we need to be in nature that at least 1 hour per day. And these will be things that will be as normal as eating healthy, maybe. I hope so. And I hope so because that will create a happier humanity that is the best possible future that I can imagine.
Yay, thank you so much, Alvaro. And I think that that's the point, just like listen to you, that you are project owners, that you're leaders in this topic, and to hear your thoughts around what mental health means to you. So now I'm going to pass it to Nicola for you to start with each one presentations.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for beautiful input. And yeah, I would love to actually start with you, Alvaro. Tell us a little bit more. We actually want to hear about Happy DAO's mission. And, all that I can say to introduce your project is that your mission is to make mental health care accessible to everyone and everywhere for free by leveraging decentralized communities and the power of Web3, right? And so you're here today with us. Thanks for coming again. And tell us about specifically how your Happy DAO's mission vision is going. How can we get involved? What are maybe the milestones you have reached within your project, and how can we support your project on Giveth?
Thank you, Nicola, for the introduction. Okay, let's go. First of all, I will start talking about the problem and the mission, okay? Because that is the reason why we exist. Maybe here, many people that are hearing today, they can think about new ways of solving the same problem, no? Or you can be in love with the same problem as we are, no? So I think that the most important thing is to understand the problem. The solutions is part of being creative and bringing new ideas to the table. We have a few solutions that we are trying to implement, but we are open also to new alternatives. No, we didn't hit the jackpot yet. No, we don't have the perfect solution yet. So if you have new ideas, please tell us. No, but yeah, I will start with the problem. Well, the problem basically is that 1 billion people is suffering from mental health disorder right now. That is around 14% of the population. 14% of the population is suffering from mental health right now. That means a few people from this room and a lot of people all around the world. So even another data that is interesting, 50% of people is going to suffer some kind of mental health disorder during our lifetime. So 1 out of 2, we are going to suffer some kind of mental health issue. More things that are happening. 14% of the teenagers are suffering from mental health disorder. This data is higher than never in history. It's incredible how the percentage of teenagers that are suffering from mental health is increasing. No, the worst thing for us is that 75% of the people of the world that are suffering from mental health disorder, they don't have access to any kind of solution. You can imagine this. It's not that they choose not to find a solution, or they choose to go along without treatment or without help. No. 75% of them, they don't have access to any kind of solution. This is the problem that we want to support. This is the problem that we want to solve, because this is happening especially in middle income and low income countries.
And doing the text. Can I get that and a bean soup, please? Thank you.
Wait.
Ash, I
I
don't know
don't
if
know
you
if that was a question.
could, Daisy. Ah, cool. Thank you. Sorry, Alvaro, go
I,
ahead.
yeah, I was not sure if that was a question. So yeah, that's what we have to face right now. No, that 75% of the people that are suffering from mental health disorder, they don't have access to any kind of solution. So do you think that these people should have access to mental health help, to mental health therapy, to mental health content? If you think so, do you think that these people should have access to that in the same way that we need to have access to education? Then we are together. We are together on the same mission. Happy DAO mission is to make mental health care accessible for everyone for free. And the solution that we are developing is based on doing fundraising for mental health NGOs. Actually, we have more than 200 NGOs specialized in mental health all around the world, supporting a lot of people, but they are struggling to do fundraising. As you know, blockchain is an amazing tool for doing fundraising, the same way that we are here today with Giveth, and they are helping us to do fundraising. Blockchain is an amazing tool for doing fundraising, and we want to do fundraising for mental health NGOs. And you will say like, okay, Alvaro, but they are different. If you look in internet, they are actually some tools, no, for doing fundraising for NGOs. Yeah, that's true. And we are bringing something new to the table. That is, we are developing a solution that is an NFT marketplace that help mental health NGOs to do retrospective fundraising. And what the hell is that, no? Retrospective fundraising. What is based on? What we do is we help this organization to measure the social impact that they are having, basically the number of people that they are helping and supporting to have happier lives and healthier lives. We measure that, and then we create NFT collections based on that impact. So when you are buying NFTs, you are supporting directly the impact that they have done. It makes sense? So it's minting NFTs based on the impact that these NGOs are creating. If you create more social impact, you mint more NFTs. So if you sell more also, you get more fundraising. Okay? So that is a way that the donor have a relationship directly connected with the impact that is making with that money. So yeah, that's why we get into Giveth, because we were looking for fundraising for creating this platform. We started 9 months ago. Now we are 100 people in the community. What? Siri was talking along. Now we have 100 people in the community, and we have raised $200, $243 from Giveth donors. I say thank you from here to every penny and cent that anyone is donating. Is the most amazing feeling that I have ever feel, really, when you see people that are donating to your project. 9 donors in total. Wait, 9 donors in total. And yeah, that is not enough in reality for what we are looking for. We were looking for $10,000 for creating the platform, this MVP, so we can start doing some fundraising for these mental health NGOs. Until now, all the money that we have been investing came from my pocket, and the reality that it has been around 6K in total, or $7K. As you know, now the market is not so easy. We are in a recession, and I was like burning all my money in reality into this project, into Happy DAO. And that's why now we are in a stage that we are like a little bit slower in the progress of the project. I want to share that with you because that is the reality, no? Many of us of the talent of Happy DAO community, we need to find ways to make a living. So most of us, we are doing other things at the same time that we are working on and creating this dream that is Happy DAO, no? Because some of us now we are waiters, others we are consulting, others developers. Like we have all kind of solution for us for bringing some money to the table, no? Yeah, so the reality is that now we are looking for these $10,000, and in case that we don't get the money that we need for developing the platform, what we are going to do is, because we are thinking about the people that are giving donations to HappyDAO, what we are going to do is we are going to donate that money, the donation that we get, to mental health organizations that we are going to choose specifically, and we are going to do like a democratic votation system to donate the fundraising that we have done. So imagine if at the end of this year, instead of having 10K, we have 1,000, and that is not enough. What we want to do is to take that money and donate it directly to mental health NGOs, because we prefer to use the money to have a real impact. From the beginning that we start, we are looking to have an impact, no? And because we are not able to develop the platform until now, we are not really having an impact in the life of people. So this is a way of having a 100% guarantee that any donation that you can do to the platform to HappyDAO through Giveth, that is going to have an impact into the mental health of some people, no? So even though if you donate now or during the next days, you will become part of the community, and you will become part of the votation to see which are the mental health NGOs that we will donate. In any case, that is plan B. Plan B. Plan A is creating the NFT platform so we can do much more fundraising and we can have a global impact and a systemic impact. Yeah, I don't know if you have any question or you would like to know something. I will answer your questions.
Yes, thank you, Alvaro. Wow, beautiful presentation. I just want to say, for people who are interested to know more about HappyDAO, there is a links dropped in the chat, so you can go and visit their website, go donate directly to their project. Remember that this is a verified project, so every donor that will give any amount to this project will also receive rewards back by gifts. So just a little reminder, this is relevant to all the beautiful projects that we have here today. And yeah, I want to open up a stage. Do we have any questions around here from the audience?
Well, in case that we don't have any question, I want to say something also in the meantime. That is, many times we are talking about mental health in Web3, no? How is mental health in Web3? For us, and the most interesting point is what is going to do Web3 in mental health? Like, what changes? I mean, it's important to consider our mental health as creators in Web3. But I think that the most important thing is how we can use Web3 technology for creating the mental health of everyone, no? For having an impact into the mental health of everyone. And I want to share just a little mini story. That is, when recently I recommend to everyone in Netflix, now you can watch, there are two series that are super cool. One is about the origins of Google Earth, and the other one is about the origin of Spotify, no? And if you watch the one of Spotify, there are seven, it's like 3 hours in total. It's incredible to watch how in 2004, not so far away, 2004, Spotify was creating a platform so everyone can hear music for free. Think about the idea. The dream, they were dreamers, as we are, the same way as we are, trying to create a platform where everyone can hear music for free. So basically, that is super similar to creating a public good and to try to do something without restriction, open to everyone. It was on Web 2, but the movement and the insights from the people was to help people to hear the music for free. So everyone in the industry Sony Music, like, well, basically all the big creators of music and the owners of the music, they were against any kind of movement related with music for free. They were fighting. Okay, this was for a few years, and it looks like impossible. They struggle a lot to do fundraising. The reality is that now music is better than never in history. Now we hear more music than never. Everyone have in our pockets access to all the music in the world. And a small artist can sell their music in Spotify, selling like just by having a few reproductions. So now music is in a new level of history that before was impossible even to dream. And the challenge that they need to solve and that they have solved is how to do a sustainable business model for Spotify where people can hear music for free. And they did it with the premium version of Spotify. Now when I see that, I think about us, and I think like we are Spotify. We are the people that we are creating the Spotifys of the future. We are the people that we are trying to give things for free to the people. So if sometime you struggle now to think that maybe this is not possible or whatever, continue pushing, because this is just the beginning of something that we don't really understand. We are here. We have the same dream. We are going to continue pushing. And 10 or 20 years from now, we will see which was the perfect solution. And I'm sure that we will make it possible.
Even to have this visionary path and keep it in mind, it needs from us to keep our well-being and health, mental health in a good shape, right? So, well, thank you so much, Alvaro. Yeah, thanks for
Thank you,
like
Nicola.
sharing your love and your enthusiasm about building really a meaningful future around mental health and its accessibility. And well, if there are no more questions at this point, maybe we can subway and just touch on a beautiful project that is happening actually mostly on the ground in Costa Rica, right? So we have my dear friend David here with We the Medicine, who are also verified project on Giveth, and you're doing amazing work here, and I know you have many plans. So tell us more about your beautiful project and what are your plans, and yeah, how can people support you? And yeah, just anyone having any questions, you can always drop it on the side in the chat. And yeah,
Yeah,
make sure
thank you
we.
very much. And thank you for the presentation, Alvaro. It's very nice to hear and lovely to hear your passion for making the world a better place. Um, so first of all, yeah, a little bit about We the Medicine and our project. So We the Medicine was set up around 3 years ago now with the purpose of really sharing um, empowerment tools and techniques with the world. Um, we too are really passionate about how we can really make the world a better place and help people to really get in touch with the light within their hearts that we all have. And so, yeah, We the Medicine is all about really um, sharing with people far and wide. We've been in Costa Rica now for 2 years, and the project that we're here to talk about today is called Healing the Warrior's Soul. And this project was born out of um, we did a retreat here at the beginning of last year. So one of the things that we do, amongst many, is that we actually hold healing and integration retreats. So we work closely with sacred plant medicines. Um, and one of the retreats that we did here was we invited around 15 people to come from the US and to sit with us for 8 days, come to the jungle and really go deep on, what it takes to really get in touch with that light. And part of the retreat and part of the project is that, along with working with sacred medicines, we really structure this whole program around, um, you know, teaching people the power of, of love and the power of self-healing and the power of ritual and ceremony, and really how to, to sit with their self, and the power of journaling. And we teach transcendental meditation, which is, 1,000-year-old, 3 or 4 thousand-year-old Vedic technique out of India. We teach emotional freedom techniques, which is tapping, which I'm sure some of you may be familiar with, which is another brilliant psychosensory healing modality that's able to calm the nervous system. We also teach the power of movement. There's yoga. There's all different types of breath work, like transformational breathing, and um, there is like whatever mindful breathing. We teach about how to connect to nature, the elements, using qigong and breath and imagination. And one of the most powerful tools, which is part of the project, is it's a really revolutionary neuroscience tool um, called the Havening techniques, which is invented by a couple of guys out of New York. And I'm currently the only licensed practitioner in Costa Rica that can teach this. And this is revolutionary for mental health, because what it does is it's the first technique that's scientifically proven that where you can actually detach traumatically encoded memories and emotions that are stuck in the amygdala area of the brain, right? So what that means is, in regards to mental health, is that if you've got um, any type of PTSD, any type of emotion that's stuck in the body, that's linked to a memory of when you, let's say, you was a child, whereas the typical therapy would be psychotherapy, talking, um, you know, s- uh, working with psychotherapists and psychiatrists. This technique enables people to use their own medicine, which is the medicine of touch, the medicine of the imagination and the breath. And you're able to produce frequencies and chemicals in the body that actually unlock these links that where the memory is attached to the emotion, so that after one session you can have a memory of an event and the emotion isn't there anymore, where you could have had that for 30 or 40 years and it's just gone in one session. It's really revolutionary. And so what we do is we incorporate that into our retreats, and really teach people how they can do it. So, for example, um, one of the guys that's part of this project is a guy called Chris. If you go onto our page on Giveth, you can actually listen to his podcast. And we taught Chris this technique when he was actually living in the US, and he was an ex-military guy, and he was really at the end of his world. He didn't know what to do. He was suicidal, had a lot of trauma for many, many years, and he actually went into the forest to pull the trigger on a gun and take his life. And something told him that, there's something else. He was guided by spirits, and he actually found us, Janine and I, and weed and medicine. And he flew out to Costa Rica. He came and worked with us, did a retreat. I taught him the different tools and techniques that we do, and it saved his life. Not only did it save his life, he went back to the US and did this podcast, and this is how this project was born, Healing the Warrior's Soul. And from Chris telling his story, being an ex-military guy, someone that's really, really suffering with a lot of these traumas, it we had around 30 to 40 people that reached out to us that wanted to come into the jungle with us and do more of this work and learn these tools, right? So it's super, super powerful work. It's really, really life saving, and also life changing. So that's how the project was born, Healing the Warrior's Soul. It's going to be taking place in April of next year. We've really had such a big interest in this project, and we're really trying to raise the money to bring some of these ex-military guys, and also first responders, people that have been in the police force, and people that work for the emergency services, that really see a lot of trauma on a daily basis, that don't have the money to do these things. And we worked out it's around $3,500 per person to fly them into Costa Rica to do the retreat, for flights, accommodation and food and that type of stuff. Um, so yeah, that's why the project's been set up. Now the retreat's going to take place, whatever happens, but the more money we can raise, the more people we can bring. We've had quite a few people reach out and say, I've heard Chris's story. I'm really need these tools myself. And they don't actually have the money to come. So that's why we've really put the project on Giveth. Um, I think another thing to mention here is that we're actually now a partner. It's called a fiscal partner. If anyone in here is listening that's got a business in the US, when you donate to a 501c non-profit, your donation is actually tax exempt. So we've become a partner with a 501c that are able to take any tax exempt donations for that as well. So yeah, this project means a lot to us, and it really um, means a lot to the people that need this as well. To come out. We know that we can help change the world by doing like a little bit at a time. Um, Another thing to mention is alongside this project is I've taught these techniques to around 40,000 people in the last 12 months as part of like a bi-weekly meditation where we go out all across the world and really sharing just how simple these techniques are and how we can literally use our body's own frequencies and chemicals just by applying touch and using our imagination and using color and breath, and how we can actually unlock stuff that really keeps us in a debilitated position and unable to be our full power and to be to be all that we can. So we teach these tools to many people. We're in the process of developing an app as well that's going to go out to the world and really give people this free resource on how to really unlock these traumatically encoded memories and keep people from like being the best version of themselves. So yeah, the project itself is called Healing the Warrior Soul. We've already had quite a few people sign up, and just to make a note as well, we're actually in early stage talks with Netflix and Amazon Prime, and one of another big production company that want to film this retreat, and also like film 4 or 5 of the guests that want to come as like a hero's journey, so they can talk about, this is how I feel now, and then they come to Costa Rica, they do the retreat, and there's a 3-month program, so there's a lot of integration that goes with it as well. Like we provide online group sharing circles, which is really important part of sacred medicine. If anyone's ever worked with the medicines, they know that. So we really provide a platform before, during, and after, and any support we can get goes directly to the people that can't afford to come. It's not for us. We take a small donation from people that are coming, but yeah, the money goes directly to paying for these guys to come out that really need it. Yeah. So if there is anyone that's listening and you feel that this type of thing resonates with you, then feel free to reach out to us if you've got any questions. Or we're super passionate about this work, and I think, as I said at the beginning of this introduction, I've been on my own healing journey for many years. I actually had a mental breakdown in 1994. So it's now 24 years on, and I'm still working through through processes and entanglements, and it's a life's journey, and we're here to serve. We're just purely of service. So yeah, if this resonates with anyone, just feel free to ask me a question, or you can contact me directly. And yeah, thanks for listening, and also thank you for Giveth for giving us this platform to share. And yeah, just thanks for everyone for being a part of it. Yeah. And by
Thank
the way, this is
you.
Janine. This is the brains in the partnership. Janine is my partner here and part of Weed and Medicine. And yeah, thank you to Nicola to reaching out and giving us this opportunity. It really means a lot.
Thank you, David and Janine. And yeah, I have my own personal experience with the technique that you mentioned, havening, and I think it's super fascinating. So I have a question for those who are not specifically suffering from PTSD, but they do may accept that they carry some sort of a trauma, or I don't know, they maybe feel fascinating and really inspired to like come and actually experience this healing technique. Is there a way how you're sharing this online, or do they, if
Sure.
they want to come to Costa Rica, how they can get a hold to you? And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this the havening technique is one of many techniques that I actually work with, and I also teach. I do a lot of coaching programs. I do a lot of one-on-one work with people. I really understand the importance of there's many aspects to healing ourselves, right, and healing our inner child. So I think there's a misunderstanding of what trauma actually is. So for one person, it can be like a sexual or physical abuse or something that's really strong, and another person it can be, the fact that they felt that their parents weren't there when they needed them, and they really needed someone to hear them and see them, and they feel that out of not being seen and heard at certain times that there can really be a big abandonment wound. And what's coming up a lot in people that come to me is they feel like there's like the throat chakra is specifically blocked, and there's a feeling of like not being heard, and then out of that, for example, you know your dad might not have been there to take you to ballet performance or whatever it was, and really feeling abandoned. And coming out of that is a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self criticizing, and not feeling that you're worthy, not feeling that you're loved. And this is trauma. This is a traumatic event. Basically, it's anything that when you have a memory of it, or if there's a story of the past, it doesn't matter what it is. If it makes you feel an emotion in the body, then there is a link that's coming from the brain, right? So by doing this technique, it's really simple. I'll just quickly explain it. So for example, if you think back to a time when you was a child, just say you was 10 years old, and there was a time when you felt fear. So when you tune into that memory, what happens is in the amygdala is where it activates the memory, and then the emotion of fear comes to the body. And with fear, it's normally felt in the solar plexus, in the center of the body. So with this technique, what you're able to do is tune into the fear and give it a score from 0 to 10. And then once you start just using your touch, if you rub your face, your arms, and your hands, within 30 seconds, the body produces a frequency, which is the lowest, slowest frequency, called delta, which is only normally produced when you're in the middle of your sleep. Once the delta frequency is being produced, that then goes to the brain. And the thalamus area of the brain detects this as a healing frequency. And then whilst you're doing this, if you use your imagination to imagine that you're at a beach, or you're at at an event, or you're seeing colors, somehow the brain knows what's going on. It produces a chemical, a calcium chemical called calcineuron. That goes to the amygdala where this fear memory was, and it literally just snaps it and it delinks it. Now there is a little bit more to it, but that's the basics of it, and that's how it works. And it took these two clever neuroscientists 10 years to work it out. And I was fortunate enough to be introduced to this technique, Nicola, when I was in London. And I being a practitioner of hypnosis and EFT and all the other modalities, I learned this and was just like, wow, this is gonna change the game, and it's gonna revolutionize healing and really help people to unstick this stuff from the past. So yeah, in answer to your question, you don't have to be suffering with deep trauma to reach out to me. You might need some coaching or just some help, or um, working on limiting beliefs and how to manifest and bring things in. It's using this technique doesn't have to work just for trauma. We can also use it to it's like by calling it forward programming, havening, so you can actually change your frequency to rewire negative patterns of thinking in the mind and things like this. So there's loads that can be done with it, and it's
How
also just a
people,
small part of that.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry. Well, I was just curious how people can reach you then.
yeah.
How would be the
So
way?
you can go to the website, which is wethemedicine.org. There's tons of information on there, like testimonials from clients that I've worked with before. And also, if you really want to reach out to me and you've got any questions about this presentation, you can contact me at hello@wethemedicine.org. All right. And I'm happy to answer any questions you've got and give people like free resources if you're listening and you want to know more or whatever. Yeah, I'm happy to share and support. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, David. And yeah, all these links are dropped in the chat. And maybe just give it a chance if there is one last question that we would ask with the medicine. And then we would like to hear from the next and last beautiful project. So yeah, anyone, any additional questions for David or with the medicine?
Hello, David. I would like to know. Well, first of all, amazing project that you have. Thank you for sharing your light here with us, and for bringing all this therapy together. That looks like a lifelong journey. So yeah, my question is, I have two questions. One, how do you get into this? How do you learn all this? What was the key moment in your life that was the start for you of this journey? And secondly, with the people that are going to your space, how is the experience that they have? They stay there for a few days, for a few months. How it looks like to go there?
Sure. Well, thanks for the questions. In answer to your first question, so I suffered a lot of trauma as a child. I left school at 14. I spent time alcohol, drug addiction, homeless, and I left London when I was 24. And that's actually when my journey started. I picked up my first book. I read it. It was all about healing and self development. So I started the journey 24 years ago. And I started to learn these tools and techniques around 10 years ago. So I became a practitioner of different modalities. And the reason I did was because when I was having my own therapy with my therapist, I saw the power of these techniques and realized that I had such a long line of things to work through. I thought it actually makes sense rather than me give the money to the therapist, I might as well invest it in myself and really have a go at learning it. So this is what I did, and I spent the majority of the last um, 12 years really just working on myself. And it's only over the last 3 or 4 years that I've really been in a position now where I feel that, it's time now to start sharing these tools with the world because they're so powerful and they're so effective. So that's in answer to your first question. The second question is with the Warrior Soul Retreat, the project that we're working on. It's a 3-month program. So people will sign up once we get to like 1 month before the retreat starts. We start to create the pre ceremony part of the program, and then they come to Costa Rica for around 7 to 8 days, and they'll journey. They do 3 plant medicine ceremonies, and also there'll be there'll be workshops throughout the day. So there'll be 2 or 3 workshops every other day, giving people rest time in between. And then when they go back to their homes, we do a 2 month post integration program as well, which includes like various online group sharing circles, going over the tools that you're going to learn during the program, and just making sure that people are being heard and held and listened to and supported. Yeah.
Thank you very much. If I have the time and if you open the doors, I would like to visit you at some moment of my life.
Oh, brilliant. Well, listen, reach out to me. I'm happy to share whatever I can to support you as well. All right. So just send us an email at hello@wethemedicine.org. Anyone that's got any questions about the project, and and thank you so much.
Yay!
Thank you so much for giving us the platform.
Beautiful. There is also one more question in the chat. So maybe
Yeah.
David, if you want to respond to it in the
Yeah.
chat. and maybe we can just allow, in respecting of the time, just allow for smooth transition
Yeah.
into our next guest. And also, it's just so beautiful. Yes, guys, please network, connect. Like, how can we support each other, right? So that we do this
Yeah.
together. So, um, I leave you, David, to maybe responding to the question in the chat. Thank you so
Yeah.
much again for your beautiful window. Really enjoyed to hear more details,
Thank you
even
so
about,
much.
yeah, things I didn't know. So yeah, let's go
Yeah.
to the Gravity DAO. And today we have here beautiful Bianca, who is going to be presenting and
You know of the
talking
transactional analysis method.
about this project. I would just like to ask you, David, if you can mute.
Yep.
Thank you. Beautiful. So yeah, just to introduce Gravity DAO, and thanks Bianca and Juan for coming. Gravity DAO is a conflict management commons that is emerging from the cultural build of token engineering commons, and is here to offer alternative dispute resolution and community building services to Web3 communities. And I myself, being a graviton, and I received this beautiful gift that is coming with you, Gravity DAO, which is called the Gravity Training Conflict Resolution, that is allowing me to now build on all these beautiful tools that you gave me. It's so happy. I'm so happy to have you here. Please tell us more about your project and the way that you see mental health, and how can, yeah, what are your uh, what is your roadmap? What are your milestones? How can we support you?
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Nicola, for inviting us to be here. And this is so fascinating to me, listening to these projects, the Happy DAO and the With the Medicine. I just love this topic. I could be here listening to you all talk about like a day or two nonstop. I'm really passionate about mental health, and listening to you all talk about tools to make and the space to have for people to heal and also get connected and experience um, help somehow. It's really fascinating to me. I really appreciate you, Alvaro and David, for your presentation. It was really awesome. I want to share with you my screen so I can talk a little bit more about what's gravity and what we do. So we understand that well-being, it's also connected to manage conflicts within ourselves, like people around us, and especially in a DAO, that like people that we work with or we work to. So it's part of like having this well-being and understand how conflict can be good, and it's not a problem to have conflict. So we come from this place of offering conflict management to DAOs. And yeah, we want to put people together to understand more about this way of how can conflict be something good. It doesn't have to be something bad. So we offer trainings for members and anyone who's interested in the topic. And we train people about nonviolent communication and some techniques um, for the individual and for the group, the community. And we see conflict management as a public good. Um, so we can share our knowledge and care about people that surround us. And also when we are in a conflict ourselves, like what do we do, right? So we offered services like that, and this training that Nicola was talking about, um, I've done 2 times myself, and it's just something that we are really passionate about in Gravity. And yeah, we want to build this mindfulness of high vibes in DAOs in the ecosystem, to have this strategy around alternative dispute resolution. So like this picture here, it's sometimes we are in so much pressure that just letting go a little bit of it, we feel good with ourselves and people around us, but letting it go, it's not something easy. And that's why like we are here to support people to know how to communicate their needs and what can they do within themselves to let this pressure out for like a little bit. So we're working in prevention, offering the training, and then we talk about nonviolent communication. We have these tools of deep democracy and liberating structures. We offer safe spaces to talk about transform conflict into self-awareness. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about, and I also leave here an invitation for all of you. We are going to promote a safe space tomorrow in Gravity to talk about trauma. So this is very related to what David was talking about. So yeah, and also clear expectations and rules and boundaries, to understand that it's something that's really important and we see a lot of value on that. And then techniques around optimal arousal zone, mental health, and individual well-being. This is something that we like to talk about because in that optimal arousal zone, it's where we are comfortable. And then when we go over that, it's when a lot of conflicts can happen. We get more, we can get more frustrated, we can get aggressive. And when we go lower than that, it's when we sometimes get depressive. So to understand what is our arousal zone, it's something that we also talk about a lot, and it's related to this mental health because sometimes people have that zone in a smaller shape because of traumas that they had in their lives. So like to understand and connect ourselves to what is my best when I am in this position that I can go high, but I understand when I am stressed and when I am nervous, I can understand better how to manage those feelings to go back to my optimal arousal zone. And also when I'm below it, I can understand that's a phase and it happens to everyone. And this is something that we like to promote also as a prevention. And mechanisms to address the conflict. This is what we call the alternative dispute resolution. We base the Alstrom's principles of rules that offer effective monitoring and violations are punished with gradual sanctions, and how to address the conflicts with a low cost and the issues. So these are some things that we do when the conflict's already there and we don't know what to do with it, and we want to like educate people to know how they can navigate better in those situations. And I like this picture because sometimes the conflict's not one person's right or the other person's wrong. It's just the side that you are, and the people see it how they want. And it's just like, okay, I am right and you're wrong. But what we want to bring to people is to let the no voices be heard. So I understand your perspective and you understand mine. Sometimes we don't have to agree with it, but just to be more respectful and more empathy with each other is something that we like to keep in mind. So yeah, it's like conflict's not something bad. We can get good things out of conflict. And then for conflict resolution, more than a final truth, we need to understand the reasons why each other is attached to their position. So yeah, what do they want? What are their needs? What are their interests? So understand the other part. It's something that we don't do sometimes. We just want people to understand our perspective, but we also need to be open to the other person's point of view. Um, I think I'm gonna go through this just because of the time. And then this is like the nonviolent communication that we like to talk about, and we also offer this in the training. So in the NVC word, the perfect word, we would separate the things that we see, things that we feel, our needs and requests. So it's really like addressing what is really what is inside me and how am I feeling those things. And in the word that it's not that, we interpretate everything that we see in the way that we want, like that other picture. We judge much more. We have no connection to each other and their feelings. And we have some strategies and demands around that. So I want to communicate in any way that I want, and I don't care how you're feeling after that. So this is what we want to avoid, and this is what we want to promote. And empathy is the key, right? With all that. So we want to separate people from the problems because sometimes when you are in the conflict, it's hard to see that my problem's not that person, but what they are experiencing or what they're promoting. So it's like I don't have a problem with this person, but maybe with their point of view. So to be empty is to be able to separate those things and have an easy communication between the parties and focus in interest and not in positions. So it's not like, okay, I am at this point in my life and you're in maybe something different. But I also want to know what is your perspective. And we don't need to fight over those things. And this is the optimal rhizosome that I was talking about. So here's when we function good. And normally we are safe, we're calm in here. But when we go up that point, we get angry and emotionally reactive. And when we go down, we get numb, we lack of emotion, and we are down. Sometimes we get depression also at this point. And this is something that we also like to talk about. It comes from the deep democracy, one of the tools that we use. So it's lowering the waterline. So this is our conscience, things that we know it's there, but there's also all of this. So I like to understand this as like we have levels in ourselves, and when we go deeper in self-knowledge, we understand better how to promote those good things that it's still there, and we don't need to be so reactive to everything that's around us. And it's like, okay, I know this is happening right now. Maybe we are in a conflict right now, but I understand deep in myself that this is not about what it's in this conscious situation, and we need to lower the waterline to also give the no voices the opportunity to speak, and then we can connect better with each other. And it's it's that point where we are, okay, I actually see something good from this, and it makes sense for us to have this conflict right now because you're coming from this way, I'm coming from that other way. But we can lower that waterline of consciousness and maybe come to something that's good for both of us in compromise. And my perspective is that all that is also connected with mental health, because if I am not in a good place to talk to somebody, it means that I need to go back to myself and see, okay, what am I doing and how can I maybe change something that's inside me? So taking care of yourself in first place is a way to prevent conflict. And I love this paragraph where we say that we all experience good and bad mental health, and that depends in like the stage that we are, something that happened, maybe we're affected by one person in that day and then we get thrown away. But it's also like have this conscience of, okay, I do want to enjoy a good mental health, so what can I do to do that? And then have this sense of purpose and directions, the energy that we do things that we want to do, and the ability to deal with change that happens in our lives. So this is like what it's to have a good mental health, because like I said before, like we can experience bad mental health also. And yeah, we all need help with that point. And because of this, we in Gravity, we are also having it in this research around how can my personal life impact my work. And we are promoting this research around that topic, and we say that's our mental health research, because we want to see how people can separate their work time with their personal time, their families and all that, and if they're really doing that, because if not, that's also a problem. And in the American Psychology Association, they did this stress survey this year, and it shows that 60% of adults reported poor mental health, poor physical activity, disturbed sleep, and increased dependence on unhealthy habits. So everything is connected. Like I said, for the first question Almond was asking us, is the same way we have bad physical health, we can have bad mental health. And one thing is connected to the other. So when I take care of my physical, I'm also taking care of my mind and create better habits. It doesn't need to do something really extreme. It can be like a little bit every week, and we build into that habit and have this conscience. And I think it's super connected to everything that the other projects were talking about, of having the ability to go somewhere to experience peaceful moments and integrate myself um, with my history. And yeah, just like that self-knowledge, it can be life-changing. And we see that like all these topics around, it's also in the crypto economy system itself, because we do need to have all these tools, all these systems and discipline to integrate the crypto economy. So if everybody's experienced bad mental health, how can we make Web3 good? How can we make Web3 work if everybody's experienced a bad stage of mental health? So we are kind of like in here in this space of this flower, and also here too. And I just like to see more of these movements in Web3, and I'm loving the experience. And for that, we do need gravitons, like Nicola now is a graviton, and we get the training, and then we move to gain experience and contribute, and then we become an active graviton. Then we are able to manage conflicts in our communities. So sometimes you're not going to be in gravity itself, but you get gravity and bring to your community, being an active graviton, like Nicola is in Giveth. And I think that's just so awesome. And in our training, we are actually changing the way that we're gonna do the trainings right now. We want to launch next March or around that time, the online trainings. So the last training, it was live trainings, but we want to experience more of people getting this knowledge of conflicts, and we want them to be able to do that in their own time. So that's why we are transitioning these trainings to online courses, and then we can spread that all across Web3. And I think that's something that's very awesome, and I'm super excited for this next phase of Gravity. And yeah, I'm gonna post our Medium post there in the chat, and you can go visit and read it to know more about Gravity. And if
Thank
anybody has any questions too, I'm open to answer.
Yeah, thank you, Bianca. I do have a question. So let's say we have people that want to support you. Maybe they're not super into learning the techniques themselves than me. Maybe they need more time to connect more with the practice itself, or even become passionate about getting the training. But how can people support you? And maybe if you receive donations now, what would the funds go for? That would be nice.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So you can participate in the Gravity. We are in the TC Discord. We have a chat there just for Gravity. You can come and give us your idea of how could you support Gravity. We are about to launch the design of our tokens too. We are receiving we want to get more funds for that, because we actually need, because it's a big work to launch our own token. So yeah, we do need people from all these other activities in Web3. Like if you someone who likes to write, um that would be awesome to have you there. If you're someone who's into development, um, also it's something that we need. So you don't actually need to be a conflict management expert to contribute to Gravity. We are open to receive your idea and make it work with us. We have some calls during the week that we get together. Just today before this call, we had a coordination call. So you go there, talk about yourself. We would love to hear what you have and how could you contribute to all this. We are in this phase of getting funds for the next steps of Gravity. And yeah, we want to have the analysis of that survey that I was talking about that we have around mental health. So the money will be for that, and also for the launch of our token, and for the training that we want to do, online courses, so we can have more people experiencing conflict management even in their own communities. So the money that we are going to raise are going to go into those things, and some other things that we also are going to update the Giveth donation with all that and the things that we've achieved in this past year.
yay, thank you. I want to open it up for anyone else and any other questions.
I have a question.
So if in the future the training is forecasted to transition to online trainings, will there still be personal trainings offered, like in-person trainings for people who learn better that way?
Yeah, so we want to do those online courses to be something that's introductory. So once we have more people having that intro knowledge of conflict management, I think we do want to still in touch with those people and then get deeper into the practice of everything that was in the online course.
I can complement a little bit, and hello to everyone in the space. And yeah, this is an idea that we have been growing in the past weeks. And instead, we are also learning from the Token Engineering Academy and how, with the Token Engineering Fundamentals course, they are being able to cover that introductory ground so that when people enter the community, they are more placed with and familiar with some of the wordings and the knowledge. So that is also our intention that people can do the training at any point of time, because sometimes people ask us like, hey, where is going to be the next training? When is going to be the next training? And we are like, okay, it's gonna be in 3 months. We're still planning it. But if we make an online course, anyone can learn about this at their own time. And then when they come to our activities, we can focus on like role plays, simulations, practice groups, and that way we can like go more deeper into the practice. And yeah, this is something that we have been talking about, because on the past trainings people got the skills, but we are always told that we lack the practice spaces. So yeah, this is like a shift that we want to make, and we want to produce a really professional course that can like compete with all the other professional courses that we can see on the online.
Yeah. I also dropped some links there in the chat and our invitation to our space tomorrow to talk about our mental health and how can we take care of our minds. It's going to be around trauma. We have a special guest that's a trauma specialist and trauma therapist. So it would be very nice to have you there, and this is an open invitation.
Thank you so much. I think for many of us in the Giveth community, we have Gravity DAO very close in our hearts, because every time there's a conflict or something to solve within the community, is a great resource to count with. I just want to shout out Nicola for the great job he does as a Graviton. So we're 8 minutes about to finish. Thank you all that have been staying around and having like really paying attention and asking all the questions. So I don't know if anyone has any more questions for Gravity DAO. If not, I would love to close with one question for the three of you, for the three projects. And is really around mental health and Web3. And I would like to know what is important to talk about and support mental health within the Web3 space. And I would love to close this session with this question. Why it's important to bring this conversation, especially in the Web3 space. So I would love to start with you, Alvaro. Why is important, and any last thoughts to close this
Thank
this
you,
meeting
man.
makers?
Nicola, or not sure it was talking Nicola or Almond. Can you repeat the question that I didn't get it?
Sure. For you, why do you think it's important to talk about mental health in the Web3 space?
Okay. Well, there are many reasons why it's important to talk about mental health in the Web3 space, no? One of that is that we are creating the future. We are the people that we are inventing the new systems of civilization, no, and humanity. So I hope in the process of creating that, we have a lot of fun, and that fun and joy should be intrinsic in all our creations, no? So if we want to create a solar punk future, no, futuristic, mix it with nature and an amazing place to live, I think that is super important to enjoy the process, no? So that's why one of the reasons why I think that we should talk about mental health. One of the reasons why Gravity DAO it's so important, no? And because managing a DAO is super is challenging, no? As leaders and as creators. So thanks for putting all these tools together, no? For making easier. And the second thing I will say that talking about mental health is important is because mental health is not only important in Web3, it's important for everyone. Like mental health is probably the most important thing that we have to consider in our lives. Taking care about the way that we feel is helping us and helping all the people that are around us. So it doesn't matter if you are in Web3, Web2, or you are I don't know. It doesn't matter what you are doing with your life. I'm sure that mental health is super
Oh, that's
important for
great.
you and for the people that is around you. So yeah, I think that we should is the most important thing that we can talk about and that we have to take care about.
Thank you so much, Alvaro. It was great to have you here, and I really appreciate you being part of the Giveth community. Thank you so much. And now,
Same, Alma.
David, thank you. Now, David, why would you say that it's important to talk about mental health within the Web3 space? And any final thoughts just to close this session?
I think I just agree with the last comment that it's important in all spaces. I think with Web3, it's decentralized, giving powers back to the user. But yeah, I just feel that mental health is important in all spaces. So yeah, that's my view.
Great, David. And again, thank you so much for coming. And last but definitely not least, I don't know if Bianca and Juanca or both would like to comment about like the importance of Web3 in the Web3 space, sorry, of mental health in the Web3 space, and any final thoughts that you may add to close this Meet the Makers session.
Yeah, thank you, Almond. I think other than Web3 is important for everybody, it's also like I've seen in a lot of surveys how this remote work affect our mental health. And I think to be aware of that, it's also something that we need to keep in mind too, because most of the time that we spend working in DAOs and projects around Web3, we are remote, other than like going to events and stuff. So it's something that we need to take care because we can't be working here 24/7, even though some of us love to do that and we are very passionate about what we do. But it's to understand that there are some boundaries around working, around personal things also, and taking care of who's around us and being around our families, and have this conscience about okay, what is that I'm giving people if I am not in a good mental stage, um, because it reflects in everybody that's around us. So I think that's something that's important to be aware in Web3. It's like, okay, I need to take care of my mind, to take care of people that I work with and that I am in projects with. So I can also be a point for them to support when they need, because Web3 have this thing that we don't have a lot of boundaries around time that we spend here, and also like sometimes we don't take any vacation or holidays off, and it's good to have that in mind of, okay, I do need also to spend some time with myself. I need to take care of my physical. I need to take care of those who's around me in life, like in real life, and not only be here in Web3. So we need to give people that support of knowledge of, yeah, take care of yourself. And this is something that it's going to be good for us and good for you and everybody who's around. I think that's it. Juan, do you want to add something?
Nothing, Bianca. Just thanking everyone here for the space and for the amazing ideas of the other projects, and that yeah, let's keep in touch. Just thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for being here with us and having this amazing moment. Thank you all for the invitation, especially Nicola, who's so sweet, and I just love to hear about everything that you've been doing here too.
Thank you. Wow. Thanks everyone for being here. It was such a nice, sweet session. Mental health is close to my heart too. Let's just normalize the necessity for each of us to take care of ourselves. And yeah, anyone who wants to support these beautiful projects, please come on to Giveth. Give them some love, give them hearts, give them some funds, get rewarded with gifts, and get even more engaged in our community. And yeah, I guess I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. See you next week.
Thanks so much,
Thank
everybody.
you.
See you
Bye
later.
bye, Almond. Bye bye,
very much.
Bianca, Nico.